On Git and GitHub, we use what we call branches. Branches are actually different versions of an application, and every branch can have its own changes, those changes that we call commits. So let's give an example. Let's say that here I'm on my Nuxt application, and here on my terminal, we can see that I'm on the main branch. Here, I would like to create a new version of the application, and this version would be called Little Feature. Why? Because I would like to add a file to this Little Feature branch that we didn't create yet, but we are going to create just after. That is not on the main branch, okay? And probably later I would ask everybody, if actually only me, because I'm only the only person on the team right now, I would create what we call a pull request. I would say, hey, I got a different version from the main version, and I would like probably to merge it to the main branch. So the main branch, it's supposed to be the main project, okay? It's supposed to be the main version of the project, and this is going to be the version that everybody is going to fetch, exactly like we did before. You go to a repository and you pull the project. So basically, how can I create a branch? So I'm going to go here on my application, and the first thing that I'm going to do is actually to create this Little Feature branch. So I'm going to type git checkout -b to say that I want to create a branch. And here I'm going to call it Little Feature. And here you see that I'm using snake case, because here you are not supposed to use spaces. This is a convention. So I'm going to type enter, and suddenly we can see that we switch to a new branch called Little Feature. And this branch is only on my computer right now. It's locally that I got this branch. All right, so what I want to do here, I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to call it touch. And for example, it's going to be example.txt. I'm going to type enter, and we can see that I got my txt file. So hello there, this is a text file from here, Little Feature branch. All right, why do I write this? Because actually, if I switch back to main, this file is going to disappear. So I'm going to switch back to the branch, and I'm going to show you. And to switch back to a branch, you can type git checkout, and you don't put the -b because you don't want to create any branch. Main. So I want to come back to a branch that exists, all right? So if you want to check if a branch exists, or if you want to have a list of all the branches, you can type git branch. So I'm going to type git branch, and we can see here that I got two branches, and actually those two branches are Little Feature and main, and in green we can see that this is the branch where I am right now. Okay, so I'm going to quit, there we go, and I'm going to type git checkout main. I'm going to come back on main, and when I come back on main, we can see that example.txt is still here. But Guillaume, you just told us that example.txt is supposed to be only on Little Feature. Why do we keep having this one in here? This is because main and Little Feature got actually the same record, the same commits right now, and we didn't commit this example.txt, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start again, is just to show you that if you don't commit, you are going to keep the same track of the branches you just created. So I'm going to type git checkout, and this time I'm not going to put the -b, of course. I'm going to come here. I'm going to actually touch this example.txt, and I'm going to write here, this example.txt is supposed to be only on little branch. There we go. So now I got this. What I want to do is to commit actually this file. So what I can do here is actually to push it to the branch and save it. Otherwise, if I switch to main, I'm going to have it also. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to type git, and I'm going to type add. Add helps you to add everything, every changes that you did until the moment you type git add. So be safe, probably you're going to add other stuff. You got to be careful. And what I want to do is to git add everything. So I'm just going to put a point here and I'm going to add everything. And I type enter. There we go. This is the first step. The second step is to give a name to this commit. Because remember, commit should have a name for we retrieve what did we do. So I'm going to type git commit -m as a message, and here I'm supposed to put the message. So what I'm going to put here, I can put actually added example.txt. So at this point of the course, I'm obliged to say that be safe, because here what I'm telling you to do, this kind of message, is just an example. There are conventions. You gotta be safe of what you write in here, okay? Your team should be able to understand what you did in here in order to come back. Okay, so I'm going to type git commit -m added example.txt. I'm going to type enter. And we can see here that an operation here happened, and we changed one file and we inserted one other file. All right, at this step, what I want to do is to push this branch to the repository, because right now we don't get the branch on the repository. So where we are right now, we were on the main branch, we arrived on this little feature, and we just committed here this add example.txt, which is this point in here, not this one, because on main we didn't change anything. We are here right now. But before we commit and push this change to the repository on GitHub, what I want to show you now is that we are currently on little feature. I'm going to switch back to main, and I want you to look here at this example.txt. So I'm going to type git checkout main, and when I type enter, look at this, the file disappeared. Why? Because we came back here at the latest step where we saved main. And in main, we didn't have the changes from little feature, because we are at a point where we switch from a branch. So if we come back to little feature, we are supposed to have this example file. So if I git checkout little feature, I have the file again. So now we got two different versions of the app, the little feature one and the main one. Okay, so now what I want to do is to come back on my Git repository and to look how branches are working. Okay, so now I'm back on my repository. And if I want to look all the branches that exist on the repository on GitHub, I have to click here and I can see that I got branches. And for now, I just got main as a branch. So what I want to do is actually to push this branch to the project. So now I'm going to push the branch. However, most of the time you have to create a pull request. We're going to see that just after. So I'm going to type git push, and I'm going to type enter. And here we can see that we've got an error. And this error is telling us that the branch, little feature, doesn't exist actually on the repository. And it's true, we can't see it in here on the branches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going just to type here, git push, set upstream origin little feature, which says that actually I want to create the upstream here and with the origin little feature. So I'm going to type enter, and here we can see that we are pushing to where? To https github.com/my name and the repository. And now if I come back to here, I can see that in real time, we can see that we've got little feature at recent pushes 3 seconds ago. And if I click in here, so we don't see the branch, but if I reload, we are supposed to see the little feature branch that we've got down here. So we succeed to create our first branch. Basically, you can have as much branch as you want. You just got to be safe, because sometimes when you got too many branches, you got a lot of difference between versions. What I recommend you to do is to often create pull requests in order to merge all the branches to the main project. To finish, here's an example. Let's say that little feature would be late and that after 2 other commits, so somebody would push 2 different versions on main, we can see here that we've got a big feature branch with 3 different changes down here. So it can definitely happen, but it would mean that if little feature want to grab the project at that point, this branch would actually encounter what we call conflicts. So we're going to see that together later. Now we are going to see how we can merge little feature into the main branch.